I've been in restaurants for 11 years now, bartending almost all of them, and every bartender has a dream vision of having their own place. And so I made a vow to myself when I was 27 that I would have my own place by the time I was 30, and moved to Las Vegas to get a little more experience there. Met my now wife down there, and we moved back, and then my former business partner and I, we were bartenders together, and I found this space where the Drop is back when it was a previous establishment, and knew it was available and started looking into it kind of on a wing and a prayer, because we had no real experience other than just the trench warfare of bartending that we had. Borrowed, begged, whatever money we had to get it open. Fortunately, we opened, and if it didn't make money that week, the next week we would have had to close it. It was that tight. But it did well, and it's done well, and birthed several other, another restaurant, several other companies out of it now, so it's been good. The personality of the Drop that I try to promote is, technical sense, it is a fine dining restaurant in the costume and get up of a casual local neighborhood place. Any given night you can look in and you'll see a white guy with dreads, a 7-year-old couple celebrating an anniversary, and a 22-year-old bachelorette with her party. It's just, it's a mix, and the bonding thing between them all is they are socially adept. Any one of them can turn and talk to the other table and get along smashingly. They also appreciate 80 different beers by the bottle. They appreciate a menu lovingly created by an accomplished chef. So they're there not for their social image, they're there for the experiential one. And that is what I think the Drop is. We're at 31st and Oak, between Oak and Gillum. There's 5 places, and other than the Velvet Dog, which has been there for 15 years, Soul Cantina, the Drop, and Tower Tavern, all are owned and operated by former Plaza managers, bartenders, and owners. And that's pretty significant. It carries over that standard into a neighborhood area. Hill next to us, we have all the developments over in Longfellow and Hyde Park to the south. West of us is Valentine. I mean, it's Federal Reserve up the hill, IRS down the hill, 2-minute drive to downtown, a lot of residential. It's incredible for all of those things. It's an up-and-coming area. It's all hot, new places. It's been 3 years, but I still think they qualify. It's not like we've been around 20 years. So it's still got all of that. Unfortunately, you say 31st and Oak, and anyone not familiar with the developments down here, what? Where? Is it safe? And they just, it's been that stigma. Yeah, maybe 20, 30 years ago there were some issues here, even 15. But I live 4 blocks away, my family's there, and it's fine. Networking's a big deal. Recognizing people I like to call consumer evangelists, because when you get, especially in a restaurant, you get your first-time guest, you get your regular guest, your seasonal guest, your regular guest, and your advocates. But then beyond that is somebody who will stand on the soapbox and preach the word of what you're doing. Those are the consumer evangelists. So I try to identify them, lasso them in, form a tighter bond with them, and then utilize their enthusiasm for what I do. And I've been fortunate, some of those consumer evangelists have been restaurant critics, bloggers, people in the industry who have influence, and so I form a relationship with them, and I try not to inundate them with nonsense. I try and find something that we're doing that gives them a story, and maybe I do some of the legwork to help craft what that is, and it just helps them. You're in journalism. Yeah. It's you need to find stories to write about. If somebody can come to you with something that's unique and different and help you, well, you'll trust that person. You'll come to them more often for more ideas. So,
what are some examples of stories that you've given to people?
We have edible cocktails at the Drop. Solid state, edible, alcoholic creations. So they're drinks with the full potency of the alcohol, but you pick them up and chew them.
These are the edible cocktails right here. This is just 4 of the flavors we have right now. There's a mojito. It's made with lemon-infused rum, a mint simple syrup. This is a blueberry martini. Bailey's and coffee. It's 2 layers there. One is Bailey's and vanilla vodka, and the other is Kahlua coffee and roastery, local Kansas City coffee. That's the amaretto. It's got a little shaved spiced almond in it and on top. How it works is, when we plate it, we bring it out like this. The key, there's several keys to this. One is it needs to be delicious. It needs to have a high alcohol content, so that's the purpose. You can taste the burn as you're eating them. And the third, they need to be presented well, because that's part of it, is the whole package. So, how did this come to be? You ever see that show Weeds? I was watching Weeds, and in it, it's that suburban mom who sells pot. Well, she's nearly put out of business by the legal places, the semi-legal, the medicinal places that open up in California, where you can show up and buy like cookies or lollipops or whatever. And I was like, potheads have all the fun. They get all these different ways to enjoy their influence, but drinkers don't, because alcohol is very specifically a liquid. So what are some other ways we could do that? I would love to have a orange vodka lollipop, but you can't do it physically. And then I saw a episode of Mythbusters, and in that they were busting myths on ninjas, and one was walk on water. So the way they did is they filled this tub up with cornstarch, and it made it really thick. It was still liquid, technically, but it was thicker. So from there I started getting new ideas. I played with a lot of liquid nitrogen, because liquid nitrogen will actually freeze alcohol. So I made mango martini ice cubes, to put in your mango martini. I made chocolate martini Dippin' Dots. You could eat with a spoon. All really cool stuff, just impractical for a restaurant. But from all those experimentations comes this. You see the texture. It varies between like a gummy bear to almost gelatinous. But they all kind of have their own identity based on the sugar content of it. This is the Bailey's and coffee. This is my favorite. And, tastes like you're drinking a Bailey's coffee, and you're chewing it. Really cool. Another thing the drop does that's really unique is we have this music video jukebox over here. I think we have 13,000 music videos at our disposal, and I have about 5,000 on the jukebox that people are allowed to select from, because I still need to control a bit the audio climate in the place. We have 6 TVs, 3 in each room. Yeah, they're small, but we have a small venue. And we have videos that go back to 1950, I think. Hank Williams, Cold Cold Heart, all the way up to Lady Gaga today, and everything in between. And you'll get different people. People come in because they want to see the new videos, because no MTV doesn't play music videos anymore. You also find people who want to play every song they ever saw in the 80s, to people who want to see performers from 60 years ago, you know what I mean, on film, Elvis or Buddy Holly or whoever.
You have regular TV as well, or
No.
is this the...
Yeah.
Wow,
We don't have cable to the building. The only time that's really a problem is certain sports events, but then we also have a die-hard loyal following that come here because they don't want to see any sports events. So we're not anti-sports. If I could get cable into the building, I'd have it on there, maybe behind the bar, but I can't, DirecTV is too expensive, and there's no cable option because it's such an old building. Nobody's run it to the building. So.
It's like mojito candy.